almost appear in character as Matilda when you gave presentations.
I did. I did a lot of, I began doing that when I was writing my dissertation on Gage, because I realized that what happened and what happens when you're deep into research is that you have trouble distinguishing the forest from the trees, and you get so caught in the minutia. I was obsessed with what did it mean to be a Campbellite spiritually, or a Swedenborgian in the first half of the 18th century, because Matilda's father was both. I mean, that was his spiritual journey, and and who cares? So what I started doing was historic performance, so that with my students, so that they would ask the basic questions, and I'd get back to what are the basics of her life, instead of these sort of side trips into minutia. Keep focused on the big picture. And so it was also that my work on my doctorate was really exploring phenomenological biography, which was a concept that I came up with to try to figure out what I was doing, to name it. And it was, how does a person's life make sense to them internally, not viewing from the outside, but really trying to understand their motivation and their making sense of reality. And performance is absolutely a way to do that. So that was the beginning of that. And that's part of the journey, is to what did Matilda's life mean to her? Not necessarily what do I look at it from the outside, but both.
So Sally, what is next for you and Matilda?
Well, I'm gonna put this out there, because if I say it publicly, then I'm held accountable to myself to do it. I've tried to write the final biography of Matilda in a number of different ways, and I have like 2 or 3 forms of it that are 200 to 300 pages, and then I dropped them because they didn't feel authentic. And what I realized was that I can't write about Matilda as an observer, the way the biography is typically done. I have a relationship with Matilda. It's the probably the longest sustainable relationship I've had in my life, except family. And so the way in which I will write the definitive biography of Gage, well, it'll stand as the definitive until somebody comes along and does a more definitive one. But given that I'm in some ways, the sort of the mediary, when Matilda Jewel Gage gave me the stories from the family, there was a responsibility with that I have, that these are stories that I'm the only person that knows these. And they didn't come out of thin air. They came out of my relationship with Matilda Jewel Gage, which I came to love her very much over the 17 years. And some family members said it's almost like you're the daughter she never had. And in some ways, she was like the intellectual mother for me. And so the book that I'll write in the next few years will be the story of me and Matilda. It'll be the relationship between us that will take her life into the resurrection of her, if you will, historically, through to the Matilda effect, the creation of the Gage Foundation. So that's the way that it feels most authentic for me to share my journey with Matilda, with the world.